Okay, this is ITEC2380. My name is David Icalio. This is a presentation for my final, summer 2019. I use Visual Studio to develop everything. I really like it. I like the movable tabs. I like the different layouts. This is the dark layout right now. It's got autofill features, which are nice for coding, especially JavaScript, because it'll tell you all the available options. There's a lot more it can do, and I'm sure I'm not utilizing it to its fullest, but maybe next semester. I will jump into the website here. This is the website on 100%. The color palette I chose, basically I took a persimmon fruit, used my color picker from Affinity Photo, picked that orange color, and then from there I got this palette from the calculator online, and that's kind of how I designed it. But the header area, I used the free logo maker online to make this little logo here. But initially it was like a little square, and then I used Affinity and I put the little ellipse around it and gave it a little 3D border. And the fruit of the gods is Diospyros, the genus of persimmons, is loosely translates to fruit of the gods. And these are actually a bunch of different pictures of persimmon fruit that I put together, and then I used as a background for the text, and then that's how I created that. And same with the bottom, but it's a different effect. The navigation area, there's the JavaScript hamburger icon here, which opens up this menu, which is basically the same thing as this, which I needed for the mobile version. Green indicates you are here, so as you can see it changes color when you click on it. And really the presentation is supposed to, the website's supposed to read like a presentation. So these are all the content pages. The footer area, I did add this little ellipse around the genus Diospyros, and then added a gradient effect to kind of give it a fading kind of look to it. There's hyperlinks, the site index, which I'll jump over to the site index, and it's kind of arranged in an odd way. Most of the sites centered around genetics, so that's why there's so much things under chromosomes. Everything else was just extras, and they really didn't relate to one another, so I just gave them their own folder. And for the form, instead of actually making a form, I wanted to make something a little more useful, so I sort of added some trivia, and it's just questions, and maybe when you guys go through the presentation, you'll be able to answer the questions correctly and agree to the terms, and anyways. But I'm going to go back home. Oh, by the way, there's hyperlinks. Both the catchphrase and the logo are hyperlinks, so you can go back to the home at any time by clicking on those. I'm going to post the video that I'm doing right now on this little filler area right here, but I needed to go ahead and make it first, of course. I'll go ahead and zoom in. Alright, so the body, as you can see, I used a book as a background, and the main reason I did that is I really wanted the website to stand out. So many sites you go to nowadays, they just all kind of run together. You can't remember where you've seen what, so I figured if I made something really unique, it'd stand out and people would remember it a little more. And this upper video may be a presentation for NAFEX, which is North American Fruit Explorers. They reached out to me maybe a month or two ago and wanted me to do a presentation, so I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone and do it as my final. So I added Lightbox library to all my photos, so it's got the little effect here. Here's my animals on the farm. They kind of keep everything in order, which I talk about in the presentation. The next page link, like I was saying, is done as a presentation, so when you click on the next page, it'll take you to, of course, the next page in order. And it's also an anchor so that it takes you to a specific part of the next page, which is nice, so you don't have to scroll up and down. It'll just boom, take you right there. It's 2-column layout, and now if you go into the mobile version, it actually stacks on each other, and it's got a different background. So I thought that's pretty neat, and this is what I was talking about. It still indicates where you're at with the little green bar, and later on I may go in and add the next page and previous page right here, but I just really wanted to get this done. There's of course the menu here, and it still works, so you can navigate that way, and it's got the next page link at the bottom. So anyways, and it takes you to the exact same spot as it would in the full version. And this is a Jello layout, I believe it's called, and I chose that just because I didn't want to fight with moving everything around. And as you can see, I did a lot of, here's my table, I did a lot of illustrations, and it's mostly chromosomes to explain some of these concepts. Anyways, the full, and I'll just go ahead and click through everything. And here's another light box here, light box photo here. All right, so just kind of click through everything real quickly. Here's a nice photo, and that previous photo was from last year's crop. This is this year's crop developing. Persimmons don't ripen until the fall, so it's got a while to go. But and this is the last page, so there's no anchor hyperlink right here to go to the next page. So you're pretty much done. And maybe I'll extend this in the future and make it many more pages. We'll see how it goes. I want to take a look at the folders real quick, just to kind of show you. It looks a little crazy, as far as, you know, having two CSS files and two JS files. And the main reason I did that was just to keep the JavaScript stuff, or Lightbox, excuse me, CSS and Lightbox JavaScript separate from everything else. I believe you can combine them, but I just didn't want to run into a very long code and it just kind of tire my eyes out. And same thing with the images. These are the Lightbox images, and then these are non-Lightbox images. Overall, I guess I'm happy with everything. I spent longer than I wanted to on the web page, but you know, I think it's worth it. But I don't know, you guys tell me. So the most difficult aspects of this was this nav bar. I mean, getting everything where I wanted. It would have been a lot easier just to have one big like orange area instead of having this little divider in the middle. Believe it or not, that caused a lot of headache. And then another thing was just to keep everything exactly where I wanted it to, with especially when going from the mobile version, you know, because I didn't use W3 CSS or Bootstrap or anything like that. I don't think you could have really with the way I wanted to do this. So this is just good old-fashioned CSS. So it was a lot of code. In fact, I can't remember how many lines of it was, but it was a lot. Let's see. Which, you know, I think my layout's different than most. I break everything up, but it goes down to like 591 lines there. But so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys around. Have a good one.